Hello and welcome to the Beet Goes On Podcast. And this episode is about the Beet Retreat.
Woohoo.
We did it. It's over. Okay. So let's start with
There's so much to cover.
there's so much to cover. Let's start with prior. Okay, I've never done an event where it was a paid ticket. The last time we did the Beet Retreat, it was our guinea pig. It was our 10th anniversary. So we were like, just get here. We'll put you up in hotels. You just pay for your travel. And it's because we're having a 10th anniversary party, whatever. So that was last year. This year we sold tickets and we had a beach Beet Retreat, which was so, cool to plan because to bring a bunch of people on an island in the South in Georgia, typically it's a lot warmer here.
Yes.
But this year it snowed for the first time last week before the Beet Retreat in 7 years in Savannah. And it snowed a lot. So when it snows in Savannah, the city shuts down. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the salt. We don't have the snow plowers. We don't have any of that. So we were shut down.
People are bringing like their tractors down on the streets trying to
dirt, mud, like different things because we don't have the type of salt to salt the roads.
And people don't know how to drive in the snow.
No, we don't. We don't have the tires. Lots of us don't have 4-wheel drives because we don't need them. So, So when I woke up, I went to bed Tuesday night. I have been anxious in a good way, like excited and anxious. And I was like, oh, the snow, it's just going to be a little snow. I fell asleep Tuesday and I woke up and my house is all windows. I woke up like 3 o'clock in the morning and where I was excited because the snow is so beautiful, I immediately went to nail biting because the streets were covered.
It was like a cyclone.
It was coming down and I had never seen anything like it in Savannah.
Yeah.
So the next day when the sun came up around, I don't know, noon, when it finally stopped raining, snowing, I was like, oh, wow. So then they shut everything down as of 5 o'clock. I don't know. They shut everything Tuesday. Then they shut everything down Wednesday.
Yeah, nothing was open and you couldn't get anywhere.
No flights canceled yet. So the girls are all flying in. Some are flying in Friday. So there's like a handful of the, 50-ish people that flew in Friday to save on flights. And then the rest of them were coming. The retreat started on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So, but some of them came in early and we had an extra night upcharge for flying in early. So anyway, those Friday people, I was concerned. We were watching their flights. But would you believe only 2 flights got canceled and one of them was able to rebook it, move it to Saturday morning.
That was perfect.
But there was such a ripple effect of the snow, getting the food there, we could not get on Tybee Island because it's one bridge on, one bridge off. So, it's one way on, one way off. So to have it ice over is a big deal. So we couldn't get anything. And then the businesses weren't open. Some were open, some were not. So we just couldn't get there. We're supposed to get there on Thursday to be prepared. Now we couldn't get there till Friday. So we're also picking up people from their flights on Friday.
A lot of ground to cover.
So late flights, like we were picking people up till 1 a.m. So it pushed everything into weirdness, but we got it done. And we started the Beet Retreat on. So now we got past that.
Yeah, the planning was a little chaotic.
The people from up north were like driving around in it. Like, they got here and we're like, why is everyone so upset?
Yeah, it was not just like a few inches of snow, but it was tricky. like loading into the Airbnb, like
there's a hill and it was all ice.
I have so many videos of you like sliding down.
I know, we need to post those. You need to send those to Mary. I wore heels Saturday night and couldn't walk up the hill of the Airbnb.
Even when I rolled up and was getting equipment out to like shoot you guys, you like came out and you and me and Gavin were out there and you literally were like sliding down, like holding onto the side of a car to try to not fall.
Yeah, because it was like a slant and it was just frozen and there was no one to clean up like the driveways of the Airbnb. The streets surprisingly had been cleaned up on Tybee, so that was good.
Yes.
So the retreat started Saturday, even though some had flew in. We got some one-on-one time with the Friday night people, or I did, which was really nice. And then Saturday, we did a vision board. And then we had a speaker, Courtney Nine, who was wonderful. And she just had such inspirational thoughts and things to say about networking them and their business. And when she left, Brooke came in and Brooke introduced herself from Classic City Glow. And she kind of told her story. I feel like somebody else spoke Friday.
No, it was just Courtney and Brooke for the most part. But I felt like Courtney offered some really good resources and like,
oh yeah, for sure.
You know, I deal with a lot of online digital marketing all the time, but the stuff that she was telling me of like how she goes about social media, I thought was like very innovative. And like, if you want to build community, I would go back and like listen to what she said.
Yeah, so hers was more like digital marketing, network marketing on social media. And then Brooke has been with Beettan for 5.5 years. She was one of the first people that signed up to learn how to spray tan. So it's pretty awesome to get to chat with them. And then we went to Huckapoo's, and that was chaos. They put us in the corner.
My God, it was so much fun.
It was so fun, but we were supposed to be in this more open spot. And anyway, we had to be crammed. And so we got really acquainted with each other because of the situations that happened. It ended up being fine. We had so much fun at Huckapoo's. We had clients and friends who came in just it was a great time. And then we got back.
Yeah, or I think Huckapoo's too. That was a great like icebreaker for a lot of the women. Like some of them got to meet
eating
at the
pizza,
house prior,
drinking cocktails. Yeah, getting to, and it was funny how they who connected with each other. Some of them had private rooms at the hotel at the Royal Palm, and then some were like buddied up in the Airbnb rooms and shared rooms. And it was really funny how it all worked out and who meshed with who.
Yeah, and
it was so cute. Everyone got along, but it was just really cute.
Was really outgoing, but I felt like it was cool to see them connect with things in common outside of Beettan. Like I was sitting at a table with Iris and Dakota, and at one point, you know, Iris obviously is a doctor with her med spa, and Dakota is actually a nurse. And or, you know, she does clicked. She does home visits. But they clicked about all different stuff, and then hey, they're both in Georgia, or you know, Iris is in Atlanta.
No, Iris is in Asheville, but she lives in Atlanta.
She practices
but her
in
med
Atlanta.
spa's in Asheville. Yeah.
Or basically, I was like, this is a
partnership.
Good partnership. You weren't even expecting.
That's a good way to put it.
But I love that you were able to like give them an opportunity to kind of like connect and not just be like spray tans. What does your spray gun look like?
And then we have some yoga girls who also do spray tanning, who do some other stuff, and those three kind of clicked together. It was just really.
Like everyone was great and everyone had a good time.
Yes, everyone had such a good time. Saturday night was just kind of get acquainted. Let's get to know each other. Let's have some cocktails, some pizza. The salad at Huckapoo's is delicious.
I'm dreaming about that salad.
That salad's so good. So we, that was so fun. And then we go back. We get everybody settled in the rooms. My son was still picking people from the airport even Saturday because flights were still delayed because of the weather for the people flying in Saturday. So some got in super late. So my son, Gavin, kudos to Gavin, went and picked some people up. Wait, no, Saturday night. That was Friday night. I'm getting all the nights mixed up. It's all a blur. Anyway, so some people still got acquainted. So I couldn't sleep. So Saturday night, I did sleep at the air. Me and you.
Oh, we woke up in
bunk. It was me and you on bunk beds. So you guys, I had several hotel rooms that were vacant. I could have gone to the nicest bed. I could have done anything. But the Friday night when the people flew in, I stayed on the couch because I was so worried about people flying in. I slept with the phone by my head. So I think like I'll have an assistant or like a coordinator for the next Beet Retreat.
Need like a party.
But I am a mom, but I was in mama mode. So I was in mom mode full on. So I didn't go to sleep Friday night till 2 a.m. waiting on people to get in. And then Saturday night, me and you finally made it back to the Airbnb and slept.
We were the last and slept
in bunk beds.
Yeah.
I think there was like a bed in there. I don't know why we did that. We could have went to the Royal Palm.
Yeah.
It's because I laid my stuff there. And so that's where like my makeup and my suitcase was. But after the fact, I was like,
it was fine, honestly.
It was fine.
We were tipsy. We were tired. You know, you put on Sex in the City. If there's anyone I'm going to be sharing a bunk bed with, I'm glad it was you.
Then I woke up and I was like, all right, girl, we got to get our energy. So
I was dying.
But I gave her some coffee.
She was like a hummingbird like that morning, like, oh, we have to wake up. We have to get to
I don't know what. I was maybe meant to do this or not, but I woke up without an alarm.
Yes,
I was up and at 'em. I don't need an alarm. I was the first one up and the last one to sleep for 3 days. Yeah. And I was excited the whole time. So Sunday it was on. So Sunday was the education day. So it was hours and hours of training. So another funny thing about the snow. So we started off with speakers, Morgan and Michelle Rozier. Yeah. Morgan with Morgan Ray.
Bryant.
Morgan Bryant with Morgan Ray Boutique. I always want to call her Morgan Ray. And then Michelle Rozier that owns 40 Volume Salon had so many good things to say. And the girls asked questions. They were such good speakers.
And I'm glad they spoke together because I think you could see like one
mentored,
and, like, what they've been through, but also like they could kind of speak to the points.
They could speak to the points of the community and a lot of things they were saying about the community in Savannah and their mentorship. Michelle mentored Morgan is really what we are about at Beettan. So listening and validating that mentorship was so, and everyone, like every speaker, you know, validated a lot of what we already do at Beettan. So I was really, it was like it all came together. Like I planned what they were going to say, but I didn't. But it just truly is like the mind of a business owner and a true entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And having that validated, but also some of these new entrepreneurs, it was really, you know, a mentorship that they may not have in the city that they're in.
Absolutely. And I think it was cool to like bring like your community and network of friends together and seeing how that translates over.
Mm-hmm.
Because even, you know, if you are a Beettan partner now and you decide to opt out a year from now or whatever, the stuff that you're learning at these events is like invaluable. It translates over.
It translates,
no matter what you do.
So we had those two speakers. They were awesome. I got teary-eyed. So
oh my God, you cried like 3 times.
I kept crying. I was just so, like when I would slow down and just breathe, it was very emotional for me to see, you know, the women with their eyes open, getting so much out of these women in Savannah that mentored me and interacting with them and really taking their notes and seeing light bulbs go off. Like it really was so special. And then we had mimosas going.
Yeah.
No one overdid it. Like there's tons of food, tons of like just enough to inhibit. No one was a liability, but it was enough to get like your inhibitions down if you even drank champagne. And then we had plenty of coffee too.
Yes, exactly. And something I thought was interesting was like throughout a lot of these like speakers talking, the topic of like using AI as like a tool for your platform. It was so funny. Like you and I obviously are like in the loop and use it.
But only
like,
for like the last year and a half, 2 years. Like
or it's come a long
remember
way.
when it helped us write that?
Oh yeah.
That ad that we had to send in for South Magazine?
Remember we would joke and be like, you don't ChatGPT? Like,
yeah.
Well, anyway, it's like cool to see all the people who are like reaping success and speaking to it at this event all use that tool, and then to see some of the partners be like, I've never even heard of that. What is it?
Right.
And you know, it's like, I hope it's not like opening Pandora's box in a way, but like it's really eye-opening and cool to see somebody who like isn't utilizing that already and introducing it to them because it really is a game changer, and it's the way
it just makes the social media posting and the emailing so much easier, and they didn't realize that they could tell it to do. So that was really that was really cool. And that that part came up, their eyes were like, whoa, wide. This is so easy. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And if I just before we like stop talking about the topics, I feel like Courtney and Michelle and Morgan and even Emily were all pushing for like authenticity and
absolutely
like being fearless and not being afraid to put yourself out there. And like that was a huge takeaway that I had is I feel like everybody's a little intimidated by social media,
critical of themselves,
personal brand, because we all by default feel like we have to be like perfect and it has to be like a pageant and no hair out of place and you know, and I think that like I think did a good job talking through that and like shedding those fears, and I really hope that your partners like start trying to put themselves out there more on social media.
I think they will. And now I feel like they have each other. They're all following each other. We did a post following we have a lot of aftermath and after learning. I don't know if that's the way you continuing ed after the Beet Retreat to make sure that they don't lose all this knowledge, because it was a lot to do. It was a lot to do and to soak up and to learn in one weekend, all while being in a new place and meeting new people. So it was the adrenaline's there. It's a great way to get pumped and get started. Erica from Lilburn, Georgia was like, I just needed to come here and get a needle in my arm. I thought that was a funny way to put it.
Also, the icebreaker at one point during the first night, I like stepped up and was like, does anybody like know anybody? And they were like, no, we don't really know.
Oh, that was perfect that you did that. This was not even in the plan. Missy just like stepped in and had everyone, handed them a microphone and had everyone introduce themselves.
But
and
what was cool is they got to go around and like we all got to kind of got to hear like how they got involved with Beettan, like where they're at and what their storefront is like. And I felt like that was a great jumping off point because like I hadn't heard some of these stories, and I felt like a lot of them were like very touching, and like it has really, you know, signing up for the partnership is really
there were
changed
some
a lot
like
of women's
fun
lives.
ones. There were some like just, you know, simple ones, but then there were some that were really touching.
Yeah, that make you, you know, want to cry and want to keep going. So
that's women for you, getting us all in a room together.
Yeah, but it made me really proud of you and like the growth that you've done over the past, you know, 20 years and building out this brand, and to see people actually be like impacted in a positive way.
Yeah,
you know, you should pat yourself.
That's why I kept crying.
Yeah,
because that part of it was like you don't get that virtually.
Yeah, and that's the magic, right?
Yeah. So maybe I was already thinking about the next one. But yeah, so Missy really took on that all while getting videography and
so many videos of people
so many videos. So we started with the speakers, the 40 volume Michelle Rozier, Morgan Bryant from Morgan Ray. That was a good to get them going. And then so prior to this event, one mistake I made was I didn't schedule the models for spray tanning. I just said free spray tans at so-and-so address on Tybee. I did not think that many people would drive to Tybee.
Yeah.
For in the snow. But even before, not knowing it was going to snow for months, we didn't know it was going to snow until like a week and a half before. So so many things. I just did not think that many people were going to drive to Tybee. Well, then when I found out about the snow, I just kept sending more emails, posting more on social media about free tans, telling people they could bring whoever. OMG. So many people showed up to tan. So it took 6 of us to keep it organized, but we did it. Yeah. We really did it. My hands are still tan from that day.
Yes.
And my face was so tan because so it's hard to explain without taking up too much time. So we had 4 tents lined up with 4 machines. We had models. We'd say next 4 models, and then the next more models would come in. And then Brooke and I were critiquing the sprayers. Mm-hmm. So they would get a model in their tent, and then one of the spray tan partners would step up. A lot of them are brand new and came to.
But I think that was great for them to have an opportunity to do that.
But when you set a spray tan gun, it's depending on your speed. Mm-hmm. Even a new sprayer, sometimes their motion, I call it their dance, their groove is a little slower or faster. Even it's just the way we all learn in different speeds. Mm-hmm. So I had needed to set their gun. So that's why my face was so tan, because I was wearing a sweatshirt. So normally I would test on my arm. So I just kept, and I was talking. I had a microphone. I was teaching and talking and spraying my face. Teaching and talking and spraying my face. Teaching and talking and spraying my face.
At one time you turned to me and you were like, is my face really tan right now? I need to go wash it off.
But I just had to keep going, and I did. So that took about 2 hours. Meanwhile, Danielle started one-on-ones on the porch. So they bundled up because the house was slat full. Because of all the models getting there, we now had no room for the one-on-ones for the digital. But Danielle made a really cozy spot outside, and it was perfect. And so they started their one-on-ones while some were practicing spraying. It was pretty. And Danielle did that on her own. I was like, where is really Danielle hiding? So she did a lot of one-on-ones while we were doing the spray tan training. And we got through the models. Then we had more models than spray tan partners, and I was so worried that we wouldn't have enough models. I told my friend Mary Liz she might have to shower in the Airbnb and get sprayed a couple times because I was worried about that many people showing up. Mm-hmm. Well, too many people showed up, so then I had 5-6 people to demonstrate. I could demonstrate. I was supposed to demonstrate on you or Mary. None of us were. The only thing that was tan on me was, all the HQ people were working hard to keep it all organized. None of us were tan except for my face.
Yeah, exactly.
My legs.
But that's good. That should speak to how
many people. And here's the crazy part. Okay, so I'm already tearing up over the speakers and the things they say and the people showing up to speak, the partners showing up, watching how much they're getting out of this retreat that I've planned and organized and stressed. And I spent tons of time on a PDF I never got to, which I'll get to that in a minute.
Right.
But I'll get to why that ended up being a blessing in disguise in a minute. But I worked so hard on the event and the snow and everything, and it was coming together after so much stress of like planning. We were planning for it to fall apart from the snow.
Oh yeah.
So to see, so for in one part I kept crying. I had held back tears. I cried like 3 or 4 times, but I held back tears even more than that. Watching my team step in and how professional they were, and also how warm and how everyone was getting along. Then every speaker showed up. Not one speaker canceled.
Like it actually went well.
Right.
Right.
And then the models that showed up weren't just people wanting freebies. These were clients from my past.
Oh yeah.
From my very first spray tan business 20 years ago. I had Jennifer Pazinski showed up, which was a friend from childhood that went to my grandpa's church, who was around during my very first spray tan business 21 years ago. I can't, like, it was,
She was the one who showed up with her daughter, right?
Yes, she showed up with her daughter. Her daughter was so cute. Gals I bartended with and served. No, maybe not at the same restaurant.
Milena showed up.
Milena showed up, she looks so
Milena,
good.
I hope you're watching this episode.
She looks
great.
good.
Anyway.
But she's always been my spray tan model, and now she's got a baby.
I know.
I mean, I can't. So many people showed up, and people were walking in, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was so good to see these faces. So I was trying not to tear up with that, because there are people from my past that showed up to take their clothes off and get, not naked, everyone wore a swimsuit, but show up during the snow. I was overwhelmed with how many people showed up for the business. I was smiling and crying and smiling and crying. It was really hard not to get emotional.
Yeah. And like, what a gift that is for you, because like we could have probably a whole episode about how difficult it is to coach and teach people like spray tan 101, but to be able to have like more than one model come in, and people, you know, you're like, when I was shooting, you were like spraying the first model, and it's like 40 women in this whole room all like taking notes and like looking so into, you know, nobody's like on their phone.
And I'm a good teacher. I know I'm a good teacher, guys. I've been teaching a long time. I'm not trying to sound conceited. I'm a really good spray tan teacher, and I'm a good teacher, and I know I'm confident in that. I know that's my strength, and the reason I know I am is because I'm a little silly too.
Yeah.
So
that's what makes it fun.
Yeah. So I don't even realize everybody. Remember, I sprayed the one time and then everybody clapped. I was like, "Don't clap for me! I've been doing this 21 years." I felt like I'd just done like a juggling act on a stage. Like, I'd sprayed, because I am very fast because I've been doing it so long. So they were all learning, and then I looked at all of them. They were like.
I think you showed them like how much it's like a no-brainer for you, and when they will get to that
it'll
point,
click.
You know?
Yeah, it'll get to that.
And something I loved was Caroline, who lives in Nashville, or like Beettan Nash. She calls it painting, and I actually really love that, where she's like, I just love like painting the body.
She's so funny.
And,
I talked to her
know,
today. She's so funny.
Yeah, and I
She's
loved seeing her like at the grand opening, and then we saw her last summer at the first Beet Retreat, and then now, and I'm like,
we are really building
like an amazing woman.
Well, and she brings a lot of now that she's trained and she's got all these ideas. She really has so many ideas now. She's helping teach and coach. Like she brought some really good ideas to the table for pop-ups and getting community influencers that I didn't think of. So that's the importance of community. It's not just about me teaching spray tanning. We need the mentors, we need the community. That's how I grew my business. But the beauty of this is we all are alike, so we can help each other even more, because we're literally doing the same thing. Where in my beginning, my mentors were in other types of businesses that still were valid and helped me. But when you have this community of people doing the exact same thing, there's some power behind that.
Yeah,
Emily Barger, I mentioned that. Emily's speech was great.
Her speech was fabulous.
Yeah, she's so good. And she's just so creative and confident in what she does, and she's a good leader. So she was such a good speaker. Yeah, and Erica as well. And I love that they were back to back, because they were part of my local community, and they are so different in their knowledge.
Yes, I agree. And something I liked about Emily's speech, or like her in general, she's so impressive, and she has so many different types of businesses, but she's always thinking about the other side of the board,
always,
like the participant or like the customer experience. And I think like we all get so hung up on like what we're putting out that we don't think about that. And
she's really good at customer experience.
Highlighted that, or making.
And she had to, because she had a store, I don't know. She always had events. She always had pop-ups. That's how we met. She had me pop up in there. So it was really good because I say these names all the time during training,
Yeah.
but it was good to put a face with a name. I'd ask her to do the Beet Retreat every year because she's really good at
Definitely.
knowing what's trending, what's now too.
Yeah. Yeah. She's very on brand and her outfit was amazing.
Yeah, of course. She's a fashion designer, but she does a lot of apparel companies, vintage. And then she's also a fashion designer, and she also has a hat, like a truck. This is her trucker hat company.
Yeah.
So
And that is taking off.
taking
which
off.
is
So she
great.
knows how to go with the trends, but she also knows how to make it an experience. So it's pretty amazing. She was such an inspiration to those women.
Yeah. And then I think Erica did a great job just making digital marketing palatable. And like,
Mhm.
it can be really overwhelming if you don't really understand how the whole system works.
I know,
And
because some of their brains were like, because it just
Yeah.
rolls off her tongue. Like I can't even use the
Your
verbiage, but it was
speech.
all like digital talk, and I could tell like some of them that are not digitally inclined were like their brains, and so I could see that.
love
So
what
I
you
remember
said,
I paused.
though.
I
Yeah.
was like, I know that. What did I say?
Or you were just like, I know it may sound like a lot and you may not like understand now, but take the notes and pay attention because one day it's going to click. Like,
It does click. I
or
think
you're
that
saying that it was like going in one ear and out the other.
well,
for
I
you?
said I don't know about y'all, but when Erica talks, sometimes it sounds like Japanese.
Yeah.
That's what I said because I could see the look on their faces. And I'm like, don't worry, we're gonna have coaching after this. So Erica was great. All the speakers were great, and then we were able to have dinner. And then I had to open up the store. Then we started to pack up.
Well, you also sprayed all the partners, which I thought was a really. I know it was time consuming for you, but I thought.
But
that
I
was
wanted them
really
to feel it
good-
going on. So
Yeah.
while we were setting up dinner, I sprayed. I'm telling you guys, I don't know like what battery I stuck up my bum
Oh my
the
God,
weekend, but
Michelle,
I did not
need to
stop.
edit that out. Oh my God.
I was like the Energizer bunny because I never got tired, and I just
you love it. You're passionate.
I do love it. I do love it. But after that full day, the sun's starting to go down, and I'm still spraying. I spray all the partners that wanted. There's a couple of them that didn't care to get sprayed, or they came sprayed or whatever. So I sprayed them so they could actually feel it going on their skin with me. And then we started with dinner. So that night we had dinner in the house, and then
thank you to Mary.
And then I still
Great
didn't eat.
job.
So I didn't eat at all that day.
I know.
I snacked on grapes and stuff, and I snacked
Mhm.
on like crackers, but I didn't actually eat a full meal at all. And then after I spray tanned them, it was stored time.
Yeah.
This is where I didn't staff up because I knew they were tired. Like she had a specific role. So I did have Izzy. Izzy was helping with the store, but Izzy was also helping with some other things. So I went down to the store.
Which was really cute. They took like one of the bottom, like the second kitchen of the Airbnb
And made it a
like,
store.
put a display out, and it was really
And
cute.
we made it look really cute.
Yeah, I
So
really liked it.
Then I stayed down there for a couple hours, and then I was like, okay. So then we locked up the store, came back upstairs, and they were so sweet. Everyone was so sweet, but everyone cleaned up the kitchen, and there were no warm tacos.
Oh no.
So then I went up there, and Mary made all the food. Kudos to Mary
Thank
because the
you.
catering
Shout
was
out to
canceled.
Mary.
So Mary not only handled social media one-on-ones and social media classes and doing the vision boards, and she spoke the first day.
She does so much.
She
for
does
the
so much. She
company.
also behind the scenes cooked all the food. I'm going to tell you something. That taco was jam up cold.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I couldn't or maybe I was that hungry or a
think,
combo of the two. So then that was the party night, and that was fun. So if you
Mhm.
don't follow Beettan official, you should, because we made some really awesome reels. Showed them how to make the reels.
Love that.
So it was content creation, and then we woke up, and then we started doing headshots, and we woke up the next morning and did more headshots, and then headed out. So the PDF that I spent months making, this is a 55-page.
The handout.
Staples did not get it printed out because of the snow. But I think that and then we tried to put it on the televisions, and the computers
Yes, the
kept shutting off.
projector was broken. The computers are messed
So,
up.
and I
It
was
great.
so upset because I worked so hard on that PDF, but it's 55 pages, whatever. I pretty much covered everything. I used it as an itinerary rather than a lesson plan, I guess is the right way to put it. But the beauty of it is we're now going to do follow-up lives and do that PDF section by
go
section
through.
so that they can retain the knowledge that so it ended up being a blessing in disguise
that's so
that
much
it didn't
better.
print out. And it also saved me money because it was going to be like $1,400 for
Oh,
all the
yeah.
printouts.
Also, I was very proud of you for how you handled that whole scenario because like the projector wasn't working and we had to like get some TVs together. And I feel like us a couple years ago would have been like, bah! Everything is messed up. But you were just like, you got it. And I was like, yeah. You're like, okay, great. And then you just kept going. Like,
Yeah.
I was very impressed.
I think I was just so happy. I was so happy that everyone made it there safely and that the snow didn't cancel it and we didn't have to reschedule people. I mean, that part, I'd never had people travel here and not be worried that they can't get here because of snow. Like, that's just unheard of here.
Yeah.
So I think after going through that, I just kind of was like, all right, Lord, you just do your thing. Come on, universe, let's get this thing going.
It happen.
And it did. It happened, and it happened the way that it should. And everyone left. Everyone was smiling and laughing the whole time.
Yes.
Everyone, if they weren't smiling and laughing, they were learning. And I could really see where they were excited to go grow their business, their beet tan business, their spray tan business. Some of them have boutiques. One of the women owns a boutique and has done this boutique training. And she was like, I got so much out of this. And I think it's because it was intimate.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it just like
rather than a big, huge seminar. I mean, it was big for me.
Yeah.
But rather than a big, huge seminar.
That was the perfect size though.
Yeah. It was more intimate. Like they were sitting on couches learning rather than like hard chairs at a hotel convention center, you know?
No, I agree. And I'll say one other thing, like throughout this storytelling, you've been like, I don't know what battery I had. I don't know where I found the effort, but I really think that in situations like this, especially like you're so passionate about spray tanning and teaching, I feel like that's what they call flow state. Like you were kind of
absolutely
in the best version of yourself. And I'll say it is really cool to see you in that state when you're on a roll.
I mean, think about where the company was when you started and just how that all unfolded.
Yes.
The aftermath of it all, we can start wrapping it up. But I do want to say this. The aftermath, when that flow, whatever it
stopped,
when that flow stopped, that flow state stopped, when that adrenaline started to come down and I dropped the last, it was Caroline.
Again.
I dropped Caroline off at the airport and she was the last one there. And I got back and I looked at the Airbnb. I did cry. The girls had given me a gift and all wrote on, so I could slow down and like look at my emails and look at my messages and catch up on things. And I was flooded with, let me start with partners like sending me a thank you that they got so much out the weekend. So tears are just rolling down my face. People that work with Beettan that sent, I'm so proud of you. The speakers, complimenting the retreat and how we did it and how touched they were or how inspired they were. The models sending messages saying, wow, look what you created, or you guys did such a great job. To people who were seeing what we were posting on social media, who were reaching out to say how proud and how awesome they think the company is.
Yeah.
That part of it was so to sit down when it was over and look at the mess that I had to clean up also at the Airbnb.
Oh, yeah.
It was so, I teared up and just put some music on and cleaned that Airbnb and packed my car. It was bittersweet, but it was so heartwarming to get that feedback from people who weren't even the partners.
Oh yeah, like Avril. I want to make sure we mention her too.
Oh yeah,
her speech was so
good.
Amazing.
I knew she would be so good.
But I met her recording a podcast episode with you, and then we saw her like kind of off and on throughout the year. But to where I met her versus like where we were now, and her coming to speak was just like really cool. And we talked about
what's
like how
beautiful about Avril is she took the time to tell the emotion that comes with being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And she gave them books and resources and her own experience. And she was vulnerable.
Thought leadership.
Yeah, she was vulnerable. She was authentic. And I would expect nothing less from Avril. And that's why she was there. Yeah. Because that's what she is for me. In fact, I saw her in the hallway here in the building. And she works in this big tower that we're all in. And she said, to me, we gotta have dinner. We have to for dinner. I want to hear all about it. Like she got so much out of being there. So
Yeah.
as a speaker, so I expect nothing. I was not disappointed in the slightest by not one speaker
Oh, yeah. I
or
think everyone left feeling inspired, and I feel like everybody learned a lot. And
Mhm.
like, I hope that momentum just keeps on
Mm-hmm.
rolling. And I
It
think your
will.
lives are a really good resource to like get everybody still connected. And it's nice now because we'll all join and we all know each other and can actually like say hi.
So
and
more people came
contribute.
on the live last night than has
Great.
ever since at the same time.
Yeah.
On the pro site, everybody always goes to Facebook Live. They don't want to put their face on there. So on the pro site, it's more Zoomy.
Yeah.
So there were more women on the Zoom than there
Yeah.
have been at all, because usually people just go to the Facebook Live because they can type in.
Yes, definitely. But I think that was a really like impressive event. It was a lot for you and the team to take on, but you should feel really great walking
I
away.
feel so great walking away from it. I can't wait to do the next one. As tired as I was like as I was cleaning up and loading the car, and
Yeah.
there was a sense of sadness, and I was like, this is what I am meant to do. The fact that I was able to inspire through the company, inspire through the people who work with Beettan and are all the people behind the scenes. The fact that these women left feeling the way that I did from the mentors of mine was the whole reason for the retreat. It's the whole reason for the community behind Beettan. I think some people get a little confused and think we're network marketing because of the community. We're not network marketing.
Not an MLM.
We're not an MLM at all. I just wanted to implement a community aspect to the business based on the mentorship and community that helped me here in Savannah. And luckily, virtually, I have been able to do that. But having these retreats and having having them there for a weekend, it was very much like a slumber party girls trip.
Yeah, it was really fun.
It was big, but it was fun. And we had the Airbnb plus hotel. It was really special to see it come out even better than I could have ever imagined.
Oh, yeah. I know you should be very proud of yourself, and we're all looking forward to the next one.
I know. It's going to be so fun.
Yes. Great. Well, I think this was another fabulous episode.
Me too.
Thank you for having me on. And make sure you guys subscribe, follow us on YouTube.
Even if you're not a partner with Beettan, it's just a bunch of awesome women on this podcast.
all the good things. All right. Ooh, cool. That's good. Good job. I think I breathed that one. Yes, I think you